Author, Mr. John Crimmins. Some discomforting arousal is not only common, it is actually essential if habituation is going to occur. A client must fully experience the fear without distraction, in order to experience and therefore learn that the fear will reduce naturally. A person needs convincing it's likely to work. Otherwise, they will not be willing to go through the discomfort and distress of facing the emotional stimuli. But a gradual approach, along a hierarchy of arousing stimuli, helps a person to see habituation occur for a low arousal stimulus. This is a good motivator to proceed. Overview, graded exposure protocol. Detailed assessment and formulation. Establish a goal for the treatment. Preparation, give the treatment rationale and encourage full participation. Construct an exposure hierarchy for the goal. Agree approximately 10 situations and arrange them in ascending order of fear with no sudden jumps. Plan longer sessions. Reinforce the importance of homework. Procedure. Agree on starting point and instruct the client to stay with the threatening situation until the anxiety reduces. Always explain and perhaps demonstrate each step. Ask the client to approach the threatening situation as close as possible and stay at that point until the anxiety has eased. Ask the client to practice this step of the hierarchy repeatedly until they feel okay in the situation. Continue to encourage the client to increase their exposure level, progressing up the hierarchy or dropping safety behaviors. Homework. Exposure, some complications. Clients get sidetracked by other treatments. For instance, the joys and low effort of medication. Prescribed and self-prescribed medications can help symptomatically, but do not always lead to long-lasting improvement and can impair exposure, as they act as a safety behavior. Secondary gain. Including carers or family members in interventions can be useful. Therapists get sidetracked by the client, who would prefer to avoid, let's just talk about this a bit more, themselves. Maybe this will upset the client and make them too anxious. Cognitive interventions. Thought records. Practice thought review. Practice acceptance, alternative philosophy. Coping statements. Self-instruction. Rationale for reviewing thoughts and beliefs. The purpose of review is to aid the client to see that the thoughts really are irrational, because they are inconsistent with reality. Illogical. Largely lead to unhealthy consequences. So, review is a debate or challenge to the irrational belief system, not an attack on the client. It is an active approach for helping clients to evaluate the helpfulness and efficacy of aspects of their belief system. Most of us adopt a belief system, which we rarely question. Disputing is a powerful mechanism for changing that. Reviewing thoughts and beliefs. Empirical. Is it consistent with reality? What is the evidence that the automatic thought is true? Not true? Is there an alternative explanation? What's the worst that could happen? Could I live through it? What's the best that could happen? What's the most realistic outcome? Pragmatic. What's the effect of my believing the automatic thought? What could be the effect of my changing my thinking? What should I do about it? If he was in the situation and had this thought, what would I tell him? Logical. Does it make sense? Paradoxical. Humorous. Identifying key cognitive processes. What was going through your mind just before you started to feel this way? What were you telling yourself about her in order to feel C? What does this say about you if it is true? What does this mean about you, your life, your future? What are you afraid might happen? What is the worst thing that could happen if it is true? What does this mean about how the other person feels or thinks about you? What does this mean about the other person or people in general? What images or memories do you have in this situation? Pragmatic challenges. Demands produce unhelpful and self-defeating consequences. How does it help you to believe you must? Is this helping you or harming you? To believe, I must, motivates me. I agree a strong want motivates you, but a must makes you anxious and depressed, avoidant and demotivated. Again, show how the demand interferes with the stated goal. Demands are against objective reality. Where is the evidence you must? Can you prove that you must? The answer the client gives you is nearly always evidence for a preference. So, I agree that would be highly desirable, but where is the evidence you must? Answer, there is no evidence. Example. My partner must love me. If true, then for a start the partner would have no free will, the client would not be disturbed because their demand would have altered reality such that the partner would indeed love them. Logical challenges. Deriving a must from a want is illogical. How does it follow that, because it is so desirable that you succeed, that you absolutely must? The client may give you another non sequitur. Point out how the must exists on a continuum. For instance, my wife must have my dinner ready when I get home. My wife should do what I ask. The universe must do as I want. So, how does it follow that, because you failed, you are a failure? Answer, it doesn't. It proves you are a human being who behaves fallibly. End of Unit 4. Please read the accompanying PDFs and videos to gain a deeper understanding of the linking the theory to practice.